Hey team, how are you? Hope you're well. I just wanted to share this fantastic food journal from one of my clients, Mariana, who we started literally just 7 months ago, and she did so well on her journey. It's just incredible how well she did. We started from zero. She had no clue about training, lifestyle, or nutrition whatsoever. She never exercised in her life. She never had any diet protocol in her life, never tracked, never understood macros, never understood portions, nothing. And look at what she's doing now. She finally, as we are finishing the one-on-one coaching that we started, moving her to a new service, we are finishing with the right macros for her, as we agreed that this calorie set and this macro split works well for her and her goals and her lifestyle and what she's looking to do with her life, food availability, etc. We agreed that this was the best set of macros for her and the calories, but I wanted just to show something super beautiful. First of all, she's following all the guidelines that I give you on the past webinar, macros per meal. So as you see, all portions of proteins are anything between 25 grams to a maximum of 45. In her case, she's staying steady across the meals. Then we have those proteins paired with a carbohydrate in all the meals, as I explained. For muscle protein synthesis, you not only need to have the protein, but you need to have the carbohydrate that you pair with that protein every time you consume the protein. She did that. Also within the margins that I was giving to her individually on her macros per meal. We don't want to have big intakes of carbohydrates in just one meal and then not enough on the rest of the day, just because we want to regulate the energy to be steady across the day. Then if we look into the fats, she sort of, I'm going to say why sort of, she sort of figured out the fats around the day. On fats, as I mentioned before on the macros per meal webinar, on fats is a macronutrient that you don't really need to put a lot of rules. Just the only one rule that you want to put into the fats is that you want to make sure that there is some element of fats in all your meals. But definitely you want to have most of your fats around training time, outside training time, because the fats will just make the digestion of the food slower. So you don't want that either pre-workout or post-workout. You want to have instant energy pre-workout and instant energy post-workout to recover. So that's why fats are better off outside of training time. So in her case, it would be this meal and this meal outside of training time. So that was good. We also look into having fibers on every single meal. So we have fruits in here, we have veggies in here, we have veggies in here, we have veggies in here. She could have done better at having an extra piece of fruit in here if she wanted, but at least we have fibers in all the meals. The only thing that she's not doing right at the moment, and it's a very common mistake. Okay, before I say what she's not doing right, kudos to Mariana. She totally nailed macros per meal. This is what macros per meal is about. That exactly exercise. With the meals she has access to, as you see, she's from Mexico, so she's having loads of Mexican food, and it fits the requirements for her nutrition. Boom. Love it. However, the one thing that she did wrong in here, which is something that I just have given feedback to her, and it's something that people make, it's a very common mistake, is that the olive oil that you track it on MyFitnessPal does not have an equivalent of calories. So obviously she didn't know that a full spoonful of olive oil is a ton of calories. So she had a spoonful of olive oil in here. That means a soup spoon, like big tablespoon. And then she also had one in here. When I figured out how many calories that would have been for those, just those two spoonful of olive oil, that would have been 612 calories in just those 2 spoonful of olive oil, meaning 66 grams of fats. This is just insane. And that is the same reason why eating in a restaurant is so fatty, because they just pour all the olive oil in there, and the olive oil, although it's amazing for nutrition, for its properties, it's a healthy fat at the end of the day, is the easiest way to exceed your calories. So I just wanted to bring this up, because every time you want to track something, make sure that there is an equivalent calorie to that, and there is an equivalent set of macros, whether it's carbs, fats, or protein. You have to have that, right? But otherwise, if you are not tracking, always be super conscious of the condiments and the extra fats that is on your meals, because those will have more calories than the actual meal. Okay? So this is a perfect example of macros per meal from one of you, Mariana, who had no clue, she didn't even have a clue of how to do food shopping, and look at what she's done. Congratulations, Mariana.